Wow, guys, it's not looking good for the Kamala campaign. Judge Janine, Greg Gutfeld just destroyed Jessica Tarlov with harsh facts, and it didn't end well for her. You gotta check this out.
All right, Jessica, Joe Biden is one of the most pro-union presidents that we've ever had. How is it that Kamala has not been able to benefit and that the Teamsters have actually turned from her?
Well, I don't think that's a complete picture of what happened. So obviously it would be better to have gotten the endorsement. And it seems to be a lot about Sean O'Brien, because if you look into how this poll was conducted, so they polled 21,000 members and there are 1.3 million members overall. So that's about 1.5% sample size. And right after Sean O'Brien came out and said, we're not endorsing anyone, and released the results of the polls, all of these individual chapters started endorsing her. The National Black Caucus, Michigan, Western PA, Northern West Virginia, Wisconsin, Northern Nevada, Southern Nevada, Philly, et cetera. She has the auto workers endorsement, the culinary union endorsement, the AFL-CIO.
We're talking about the Teamsters. She didn't get the Teamsters
but
endorsement.
I'm saying that a million
a few people gave her their endorsement.
No, it's over a million people.
So the small amount of people she's talking about doesn't make sense. I believe we need to pay attention to the politicians that are not supporting Kamala. You have a whole Democrats switching parties and supporting a Republican. You know what I mean? The people that actually have pull. You need to stop supporting these Democrats, man. Jessica, just listen to We the People. We're trying to tell you. Just listen for once. You're sitting on this show just looking crazy.
For 30 years, the Democrats have given
I wish that she had gotten the endorsement. There is work to do, but you can, in good conscience, argue. If I tell you that they polled 21,000 people, and then I tell you that
now you're
a million people.
Poll. What about the fact that 60% support Trump and only 38 support her?
But when you have a sample of 21,000 out of 1.3 million members, and then you get endorsements from a million Teamsters after that, doesn't that indicate that the poll might not be the greatest representation? Again, it's not good to not get it. Sean O'Brien seems to be playing a bit of politics with all of this, but there is heavy union support for her, not just within the Teamsters, but all of those other unions that I just mentioned.
You know, Jesse, the Teamsters had the ability to endorse, given the fact that the majority of the Brotherhood, according to their own numbers, supported Trump. Isn't the union board's job, isn't it, to basically represent the members that they polled and then support Trump?
It is. And they don't like Kamala Harris personally because she doesn't connect with people. And they don't like the policies. They don't like the EV stuff. They don't like the regulations. And so that's that. And it's more significant than she's spinning. And that's okay. I'd spin too if I didn't get that endorsement. But it's significant.
It is. It is. So what we have to pay attention to is the poll people that organize this are ran by Democrats, and these people are not choosing to support Kamala Harris. I'm just saying that looks like trouble for her. That looks like trouble for Kamala, man. And this is stuff that I don't know if Jessica's choosing not to research it or if she's just choosing to ignore it. I don't know what it is. Maybe she doesn't know. I'm gonna pray for her, I promise. But the type of stuff that she's choosing to ignore and not talk about, man, it speaks volumes. Let's keep going, guys. Let's finish this video out.
And it shows you in the Midwest that they have a huge problem. And these people also are on the ground. They're politicking, they're knocking on doors, they're organizing, and that's not going to be there for Kamala Harris like it would have. I told you a couple days ago that I would tell you when I get nervous about this election. Not there yet, but it's getting closer. And I'm going to be honest with you, it has tightened, Jessica, and that just shows you what an honest broker I am.
Yes.
To acknowledge that the race has tightened.
What a big man you are.
But then I look at this. I look at the last 4 polls in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump is either winning or tied.
Where's New York Times?
I look at the last. I look at the last 4 polls in Georgia. Donald Trump is winning. I look at the last 4 polls in Arizona. Donald Trump is winning, and 3 out of the last 4 in North Carolina. If she loses Pennsylvania, she's going to lose this election. And right now, it's a toss-up. And every time you go into these races, Jessica, Hillary was up 5, Biden was up 9, and it ends being like this close.
Yeah.
So if Trump is going into this election tied or down 1 or 2, he's going to win. And that's what makes you nervous. not me so much.
Okay. All right, Greg. According to the Teamsters, it's been reported that they had an agreement that if Kamala had a majority of those numbers, that they would have endorsed her, but that they would only endorse Trump if there was what they called universal endorsement or unanimous endorsement.
Yeah, it's unusual. I mean, when do you get 100% endorsement? You know?
Never.
I mean, me on Tinder, but I'm kidding. I'm married. Look, this is about men. You know, this is an amplified version of what's going on in many homes across America. There's a husband or a boyfriend that likes Trump, you know, wants to vote for him, but he can't say it. So the non-endorsement is an endorsement. He just says, you know, I'm just going to, when the wife or the girlfriend and her friends start talking about how mean Donald Trump is,
So the thing to me is, so I agree with Greg a lot. I'm just gonna change it like this. I agree with Greg a lot, but this is not something that's just a husband and wife type thing. This is a family thing. You mentioned that you support Trump around the wrong people, man, and they're looking at you like you're a racist. You don't support your people, and you're choosing the most evil above great. They believe in you just worship the devil at that point. When that's really not what it is, man. I did my research happily, and I learned this stuff. You know what I mean? I thought for myself, I did research for myself, but these people that you mention this type of stuff to, man, you don't even want to do it. And sometimes when I mention this stuff, or no, I hear people talking about it. It'll be a family gathering. I hear people talking about it, and as soon as they talk about it, I see them look at me. Next thing you know, I'm going to the restroom, getting a drink of water, and I'm just leaving. I'm leaving the premises because I know what this brings. I don't mean to insult people, but we're we're not divided by race. We're not divided by religion. I keep saying this. We're divided by intelligence. These people are not stupid. They just didn't do their research. So intelligence is included in there. They just didn't do their research. And I keep trying to tell people this. Just look this up. Just look this up. But no, we're gonna follow ABC News, MSNBC. We're gonna see the new headline. Oh, Trump touched a woman. Come on, man. Do your research. Vote with your wallet, man. I keep trying to say this. Let's keep going, guys.
just goes to the garage and drinks a beer. That's what this is. What is the Teamsters? It's truckers, it's construction workers. These are not soy boys who shave their chest. These are these guys, this is Trump's people. I go back to, I've said this before. People have made this about race. It is about gender. Men don't want to be in a place where they aren't wanted. And that's the Democrat Party, where their leaders cannot define a woman and redefine men as Tim Waltz, which is hilarious. These are mostly dudes. They're tough. They're protective. They're sensible believers in self-defense for their family, for their friends, for their property. And all of these traits, you know, because of the infiltration of the woke, have been branded as toxic. The Dems have forgotten that the evolutionary traits of men is to protect the things they love, which include women. And the woke agenda has undermined that. I mean, look at the attack on women's sports. Look at the attacks on police and bail, which, you know, protect women. The recidivism of repeat offenders, that's due to the Democrats. Going after parental rights. These are things that men hate because in their genes, in their blood, they want to protect. And the Democrat Party is saying, if you want to protect, there's something wrong with you.
I do just disagree.
And these men that he's speaking of, me included, don't want people at our schools teaching kids drag queen activities. I honestly wouldn't want that, and that makes me more and more to educate myself to want to homeschool my kids. But you know, homeschooling is a little different. But I wouldn't personally want to vote a Dem in office while my kids age, 4 years, 8 years, 12 years. I can't do it 3 years in a row. I can't vote Democrat 3 years in a row. That's 12 years of my life. Sometimes even more if you vote Democrat. Come on, man. I'm, this stuff is getting me aggravated because it just makes so much sense in my head, and people are not seeing it. People are not seeing it, man. They're little by little, they're gonna take what's yours away from you.
Agree with one thing you said.
Yes.
Real men, some real men do shave their chest. Sometimes.
Swimmers?
Real men, not
Jesse.
all over their chest, but just sometimes
where
where
you
their
need
hair
it.
gathers.
Yeah.
Right.
Leah Thomas.
A real man.
Dana, swing states have very often, like specifically Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, have very often relied on the work of the unions to support candidates. And I know as a candidate, especially with the Teamsters, they come out and they put up the signs, they build the stages, they do. I mean, these are real workers. The non-endorsement, it seems, will hurt Kamala more in the swing states.
Yes, possibly, but also maybe help Trump in places like Georgia, North Carolina, because a lot of those businesses decided to leave the blue states and go to more red states where they would have more favorable conditions, like, for example, their right to work states where other places are not. Also, I think the media tends to view unions as a monolith. So, for example, like Planned Parenthood and the Sierra Club, they have always been organs of the Democrat Party. And we are in the middle of a political realignment, and it continues, which is why Jessica can have the numbers that she has. True. And then you could also have the numbers of all the other teams who are saying, yeah, I'm not for that. They listen to Brad Paisley's I'm still a guy and think, yeah, that's me. That's what I'm going for. You mentioned self-defense, and I think there's something we haven't mentioned in this show yet, but it's getting a little bit more attention right now. And that is Kamala Harris's position on guns and gun buybacks, or also even a clip from 2007. Now, that's going back a ways. I get it. But in which she talks about going into a home and taking your gun. So how many, if you do the crossover, how many people in the Teamsters are also gun owners who also might not be registered to vote? So Joey Jones this morning on America's Newsroom had an incredible statistic of how many gun owners are not registered to vote.
Yes.
And I thought that was so interesting because because the race is so tight, you got to figure out a way to get all of those people out. And there's different motivations that are pushing people to vote. But I do think that the rank and file of the unions has always been slightly different. My last point is that AOC yesterday says, but every time they call and they need help, who helps them? The Democrats helps them. But I don't think it's as much about jobs anymore, even though they've seen their jobs go away because the electric vehicle mandate, which has been a total flop. But it's also cultural. And I think that's what she's missing. It's about all the things about they want their family, want the self-defense. They want to be able to make sure that their kids are going to schools. They want to have the school choice. They want to make sure that their girls are not going to have to compete against guys when they go for the volleyball scholarship at the university. All of those things are happening at the same time in the middle of this political realignment. It's not just a
I'll tell you guys like this. Jessica Tarlov is complete delusional. Nothing she says ever makes sense, and she really needs to be fired. Greg hit the nail right on the head. I honestly believe she didn't want to say anything because she knew that. She knew she had nothing to say. She knew she'd never make sense. She's just there trying to collect a check, man. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And as always, let me know what to react to. We're out.